I think Pose has the unique distinction just in the nature of what it is, that it speaks to all things all the time. It speaks to the transgender conversation that we're having in Hollywood about cisgender actors and actresses playing transgender parts. You know, that conversation has always been, oh, well, they're not, the talent's not there, or the blah, 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 blah. We put the kibosh on that. It's inherent in the conversation because those are the people's stories that we're telling.
And that is how you do a ball.
Here in America, but we like to act like stuff didn't happen. We get selective amnesia about what actually really happened. You know, whether it's Columbus Day or slavery or the AIDS crisis. The pill came in '96 and everybody forgot there was a plague. You know, I talked to some of the young LGBTQ gays and they don't even really, they don't get it. People were dropping dead in the streets every day for decades. I didn't know how much we needed to heal, how much we didn't heal. The pill came and everybody moved on. I got so many calls from friends, you know, I didn't realize I hadn't cried about this. Just simply cried about it. I didn't know how much healing I needed until I watched your show, until I watched you. You know, the embodiment of all of my friends who I lost during that time and feeling them with me, saying thank you, tell it, scream it from the mountaintops, never forget. We forget about these things. It's like these horrible, horrible things, the greatest country in the world. For whom? Not for many of us. So until it's that for many of us, until this space works for all of us, it ain't working. One of the big disappointments for me is living through the civil rights movement, living through the LGBT movement, and it didn't really stick. You know, I love the concept of when they go low, we go high, great, but we need to redefine what going high means. Because the first version of going high for us didn't stick, as we all can see. I think the resonance of Pose, unfortunately, is the fact that we're still in the same place that we were in the 80s. There has been movement, there has been growth, there has been change, but many of the fundamental issues are still on the table. We're still talking about rights, equal rights. So it feels infuriating. You know, some of these conversations that we're still having feel very antiquated to me. I'm not scared. I'm not terrified. I'm mad. I'm filled with rage that we're still having these same conversations. It's the same Sorry, my grandma said sometimes you gotta cuss. It's cussing time. If we ain't cussing now, when are we gonna cuss? Cause this is some bullshit what's going on right now in this world. So I'ma call bullshit. When creators from particular communities get a hold of the narrative, you get a better version of the storytelling. While there's a lot of tragedy, there's a lot of life, there's a lot of hope. Pose is aspirational in that way. Pose is a family show in that way, teaching people, teaching the world that when you have to choose your family, when you're forced to choose your family, sometimes that's actually better. You gotta save yourself when you find yourself in a situation where the love is conditional.
We're black and we're brown and we're queer. They don't give a shit about us. So we better start caring about ourselves. Show up for your lives. Wake up!
When you're a part of a minority, it's always a constant conversation. Your life is about navigating through the quagmire of inequality. So it's a constant conversation, it's an everyday conversation. It's about action now, though. You know, we can't just talk about it, we have to then show up and what's the action behind it that creates change and creates long-lasting change. And the conversation, I think, has shifted from acceptance and tolerance. I don't need your acceptance. I don't need your tolerance. What we demand, your respect for my humanity. That's all we're doing now. We did it the other way, and that didn't stick. I don't care what you think about me. I don't care if you understand me. I don't need your understanding. But what I require and demand is your respect for my humanity as a human being on this planet, because I respect you. That's all we need to do. That's all we need to do.